Oh, and welcome once again to Shortest Books in the Scriptures. I'm Pastor Rick Williams. This is Zion Lutheran Church. Today we are looking at our next shortest book in Old Testament Scripture, Habakkuk, or Habakkuk. It depends on how you pronounce your Hebrew, I guess. Habakkuk is a prophet, one of the minor prophets. He is a prophet at the time when Jerusalem and Judah are being having issues with the Assyrians to the north. We heard about the Assyrians back in Haggai when God was threatening to destroy them. Of course, that's after this takes place. In this one, Habakkuk is questioning, actually, why does God allow violence? Why does God allow evil? And it's a question that's just as relevant today as it was then. One of the things I read in preparing for this lesson today is that Habakkuk, they said, was actually a very appropriate name for his office, because Habakkuk means the embracer, one who embraces another and takes him in his arms. And most of the people feel that's kind of what this prophecy does. It's a short prophecy. It's 3 pages long. And like I said, one of the things that most readers struggle with, and which many of us struggle with throughout the world, is the problem of evil. It's kind of like Job said much the same thing. Questioned why evil existed and why the Lord permitted evil to afflict his people. And, we find out that the Lord's answers may not completely satisfy our sense of goodness, of fairness. It says here, since God's ways transcend ours. God is God and we are not. And God's ways are not our ways, and our ways are not God's ways. So anyway, we are going to see some... there was another note here. What was it? I thought it was kind of interesting. It said that... this was written a little differently from some of the other prophets, because Habakkuk never directly talks to the people, I believe, is the way it was put. So if I find that note, I'll maybe bring it up later. So anyway, it is 3 chapters long. When we're done with Habakkuk, that will end our series on shortest books for now. Maybe we'll pick it up later and work backwards through Scripture. I'm still waiting to hear from the publishers on whether or not my idea for Ash Wednesday will work or not. Hopefully I'll hear something before next week. Maybe I'll see if I can try and find a phone number for them and try calling. But anyway, with that being said, I guess I'm going to dive right in to Habakkuk, and we'll start with chapter 1. Verse 1, the oracle that Habakkuk the prophet saw. O Lord, how long shall I cry for help, and you will not hear? Or cry to you, violence, and you shall not save? Why do you make me see iniquity, and why do you idly look at wrong? Destruction and violence are before me, strife and contention arise. So the law is paralyzed, and justice never goes forth. For the wicked surround the righteous, so justice goes forth perverted. Look among the nations and see, wonder and be astounded. For I am doing a work in your days, that you would not believe if told. For behold, I am raising up the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation, who march through the breadth of the earth to seize dwellings not their own. They are dreaded and fearsome. Their justice and dignity go forth from themselves. Their horses are swifter than leopards, more fierce than the evening wolves. Their horsemen press proudly on. Their horsemen come from afar. They fly like an eagle swift to devour. They all come for violence, all their faces forward. They gather captives like sand. At kings they scoff, and at rulers they laugh. They laugh at every fortress, for they pile up dirt and earth and take it. Then they sweep like the wind and go on, guilty men whose own might is their God. Are you not from everlasting, O Lord, my God, my Holy One? We shall not die. O Lord, you have ordained them as a judgment, and you, O Rock, have established them for reproof. You, who are of purer eyes than to see evil and cannot look at wrong, why do you idly look at traitors and remain silent when the wicked swallow up the man more righteous than he? You make mankind like the fish of the sea, like crawling things that have no ruler. He brings all them up with a hook. He drags them out with his net. He gathers them in his dragnet, so he rejoices and is glad. Therefore he sacrifices to his net and makes offerings to his dragnet, for by them he lives in luxury and his food is rich. Is he then to keep on emptying his net and mercilessly killing nations forever? No, that ends chapter 1. And I think, truthfully, I should have included the titles of each part there. Because the opening one, it says, the oracle of Habakkuk the prophet saw, and then it goes, Habakkuk's complaint. And Habakkuk's complaint was, O Lord, how long shall I cry for help, and you will not hear? Or cry to you violence, and you will not save? Why do you make me see iniquity, and why do you idly look at wrong? Destruction and violence are before me, strife and contention arise. So the law is paralyzed, and justice never goes forth. For the wicked surround the righteous, so justice goes forth perverted. Tell me Habakkuk couldn't be writing that today. But anyway, that's the complaint. And then when we get to the next part, this is actually, the next part was the Lord's answer. And he says, look among the nations and see, wonder and be astounded, for I am doing a work in your days that you would not believe if told. For behold, I am raising up the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation, who march through the breadth of the earth, the sea's dwellings, they're not their own. And there he is talking about the Babylonians. What he's saying is he is raising up, God is raising up Babylon to come take care of the Assyrians. And that the Assyrians are the ones who are causing the violence and the iniquity and the destruction amongst the people of Habakkuk's days. So God is saying, I am raising up a response. May not be what you want, may not be what you thought, but what I am doing is I'm raising up Babylon, and they don't believe in God, they don't worship our God, but yet God is using them to take out his justice. Now it's twofold, because he is going to take down Jerusalem and Judah, and he's going to take the remnant into captivity as punishment, but he is also going to be taking out his retribution on the Assyrians, like Haggai had said when we read that. Or was it Nahum? One of those two. Nahum, maybe. I forgot already. It gets kind of confusing when you're reading so much here. And then the third part of that opening one was Habakkuk's second complaint, where he said, are you not from everlasting, O Lord my God, my Holy One? We shall not die. O Lord, you have ordained them as a judgment, and you, O Rock, have established them for reproof. And you, who are of purer eyes than to see evil and cannot look at wrong, why do you idly look at traitors and remain silent when the wicked swallows up the man more righteous than he? And once again, he's talking about, the Assyrians and the terrible stuff that they are putting down upon the Israelites. So, Habakkuk has a complaint. The Lord answers. Habakkuk has a second complaint. And then when we get into chapter 2, we'll be looking again at some of the Lord's responses for this. So, I hope you found that interesting. Habakkuk is another one of those books that we rarely see in our lectionary. We don't read out of Habakkuk. If we do, it's maybe once every 3 years. And then it's probably that first part of chapter 1 where he talks about the evil and why do you let it happen? You know, how many times in our lives have we said, Lord, why did you let this happen? Why did you not do something about that? I know I've said it a few times in my life, and I have wondered. I have questioned. Now, does that mean I don't have faith and I don't believe that God knows what he's doing? No, but sometimes I don't understand in my human ways what God is doing. And after all, my human heart thinks in human terms. And we are believers in fairness and equity and karma and all of those other things. And God doesn't necessarily work that way. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed our reading from Habakkuk. I hope you'll join me tomorrow for Habakkuk Chapter 2 as we continue to hear what the Lord has to say and as we get ready for Lent. So, thanks for joining me today. I hope you're staying warm. I hope you're happy, healthy, having a good time. Be safe, be faithful, be loving, be caring. Be watchful of your neighbor, especially in these times. Keep an eye out for your neighbor. We are charged to love our neighbor as ourselves. I've been working a lot with the confirmands on what it means to be a good neighbor. So be a good neighbor. Watch out for those around you. So join me tomorrow. I hope you're, as I said, having a wonderful day. And I hope to see you all again very soon. I long for human interaction. I guess I get more than a lot of people do. I was privileged enough today to be able to get into Birch Haven to visit with Walt Schutte. Walt, he turned 99 in November, and Walt is feeling a little down, and the nursing home or the assisted living folks were kind enough to let me in and visit with Walt and share communion with Walt, and we just pray that Walt does well. We're going to put Walt on our prayer list and keep him in our thoughts and prayers as well. So have a good day. I hope to see you all soon. Take care, and God bless.